What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I gotta have that Tej pack. Tej makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Tej Henley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tej Henley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Tej Henley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a Dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Tej Henley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a Dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Tej pack. Feel the Tej, my friends. What up? It's Anton from AntonDaniels.com. Female rap elite says, Anton, you was dead wrong for yesterday, but I can understand. What was I dead wrong about? I never get support like that, and when I do, it's odd. You deserve that and more. Oh, you saying that I was wrong for not embracing the support. Well, listen, let's talk about that really quickly before we get started with the show. What up, friends and family? Shout out to Ray Sean. Shout out to the early super chatters. Shout out to the people that held me down on Cash App and all of that. Listen, I'm learning, I'm evolving just like you. I may be a little bit further along in my process when it comes to my ability to be able to source finances, resources, or things like that. But one of the reasons why I like to interact with the chat is because it shows the human side of us. This is not a presentation. Let's be clear. For all of you that are here at the Millionaire Morning Show today for the first time, first of all, give yourselves a round of applause. This is not a presentation, ladies and gentlemen. This is an interaction between family. This is an interaction between family. If you guys are not subscribed to After Hours, make sure you do so because I addressed this a little bit last night. But I want to give a little bit more context before we really get inside of the show. Shout out to Sky. Shout out to Azriel. Everybody that's in the chat, kicking it with a chef. I appreciate you guys. This is an interaction between family. I know it's a show. I know it's a live stream. I know we go back and forth with different information. But we pray for each other here. We laugh. We cry. We meet each other in real life, and that's why I always try to convince you guys to be a part of the Bag Chasers. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. But we interact. We really feel and want the best for each other. And so one thing that I'm not going to do, and that I promised myself going into this year, is that I would not any longer hold back what it is that I feel about what I feel, because I'm passionate about the things that I talk about. And so when you see me react a certain way, okay, well then now you just understand that I'm human just like you, and that I lean on you guys for insight and information. And so just in the same way that you see me on this screen, and you may not necessarily run into me in person if we haven't had a meetup or you haven't seen me on the street, the reality is this: we still family. We spend at least 2.5, and if y'all tapping in on the late night live streams or the Anton Daniels live stream that I'm going to do tonight, then we spending at least 4 hours a day with each other on a regular basis. That's family. That's family. We spend at least 2 to 4 hours a day with each other every single day. I'm more family to you, and you more family to me than some of the people that you was born with. And that's the whole thing behind holding each other up and supporting each other and giving grace and empathy and things like that, because I am not, like I say it all the time, I'm open to the possibility that I'm wrong. Hold me accountable. I have whole shows on Friday where I allow for people to come up here and tell me and express their thoughts and their feelings. This is not a singular thought of a program that I'm trying to have. This is me bouncing my ideas off of you, me giving you insight, you giving me insight. And so if we can't benefit each other and hold each other accountable, and let me be clear, let me be very, very clear. The name of this show, the name of this live stream is Please Forgive Me. And the reason that is because I know I got to be better. I got to be better. And so whatever it is that I may be feeling, or whatever the devil may throw at you in the beginning of the day, I got to solve for that. But it's not that is the thing that I need to be better at, because life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. I have to be better in being able to accept love and correction and accountability and be open to the love and en masse support that you guys give me. So I appreciate you and I love you. And every single day I come up on this platform and I say, listen, I love you guys. You know how you know that you love God? You know how you show that you can love God? Honestly, at the end of the day, it be people in here that disagree with me. They be kicking my butt. They come up here and all of that. You know how you show that you love God? You can't show that you love God by doing something for God. The only way that you can show that you love God is by loving the people that you have on this earth, because we can't see him. Even our belief in him, our faith is based off of something that we don't necessarily, or we can't prove to the rest of the world, right? We may get a word, but I can't prove to you that he said it to me outside of whatever the results of my life is. And so the reason why the commandments are the way that they are, especially going into the New Testament, you know, loving yourself, loving your neighbor, is because that's the way that you show that you love God, is by loving the people that he put on this earth around you. And so pouring into each other. And when you guys start pouring into me yesterday, and I said, listen, I can't take that. And I take that back. I take that back. I said I couldn't take it, right? Because I'm not used to people doing more for me than I do for them. And I'm talking about en masse. I'm not talking about my personal family or anything like that. But in a general sense, you know, I try to love people and add value into their life before I get anything in return, right? And so I want to just pay it forward. But the fact that you guys love on me en masse, that was something a little bit different for me that I hadn't experienced in a long time, as far as the group love that we're used to getting. All right. So y'all got to forgive me for how I reacted. I'm human. I ask for your forgiveness, and I also pray, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything will be added unto you, meaning that we do it for the right reasons, but we then get the return and the blessings in return. And I also pray, forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And that means that I have to be forgiven according to how I forgive other people. So y'all got to extend some grace to me. I'm liable to catch a L every 2 years, but we gonna get to it, all right? So listen, I love y'all. I'm in a great space mentally. I'm excited to be coming before y'all. I haven't even gotten my beard done. I'm letting the grace shine through for Messi and all of y'all that keep saying go with the salt and pepper silver fox. That's for y'all. On the weekend, I might be different. I might be done, but we gonna get to it. All right, housekeeping. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm about to read the super chat shortly. Housekeeping. We live streaming tonight on the Anton Daniels channel as our regularly scheduled program. And then on after hours, we do that on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. All right. So I appreciate y'all. And thank y'all to everybody that showed me love yesterday. It does not go unnoticed. I do need to read some of these cash apps too, because y'all just said that y'all was going to show me love. Y'all said, I'm going to love you through it no matter what. Shout out to Brittany B. I appreciate you, Brittany. Thank you, my friend. Says, for keep the show going today, we need you. Mike, that dude, says, I appreciate the value. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you also. And let me give a huge round of applause to Christopher Mayberry, Nurses Ain't Nice, and everybody else. Christopher Mayberry sent me a $300 Cash App yesterday. God. I see you, Noble. We gonna get to Oakland tomorrow. I ain't even gonna cap. Real talk. Straight up. I was just like, I was blown away. I just don't understand. And I'm figuring it out and I'm learning it. Listen, we gonna stream today. I know I'm here and y'all programmed y'all life around what we do every day. Shout out to the church and everybody else. Shout out to the daycares. I gotta read a couple more super chats. Shout out to Ray Sean, says consistent live streams, uploads, coaching calls, W-2 employee, handling the business we don't even know about, email after email, all while being a family man and a man of God. Anton, I appreciate your existence. Thank you, Ray Sean. Thank you. I wish I could just do more. I wish I could do more than to fund your businesses and all of that type of stuff, but we gonna get there. Bilderberg Boy says, good morning, AD. I watched a live stream last night and it really hit home. In 2006, had a bad situation, broke out, and I was left for dead by some of my day ones. And ever since then, people close to me have told me how cold I am. It changed me. We figuring it out. We come from spaces that we keep trying to embrace that may not necessarily be good for us. Shout out to Qbert Rame also says, I was praying for you yesterday and this morning. Much respect and love to you, King. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you also. Brian Green came through with the 2-ball. I appreciate you, Brian Green, also. Thank you. Wealth Building Journey says, an outpouring of love and appreciation can be overwhelming time, especially when you're not used to it. We all human, but it shows who cares, and that's why I love y'all. That's why I love y'all. If y'all never did anything but gave me a like for the algorithm, because I never asked for anything. I never asked for anything, but I always show my appreciation. That would be more than enough, but you guys are too generous. Fade Dr. ET says, nothing to forgive, but we don't care about your feelings. Facts. Talk that. Hold me. Hey, the same thing I say to y'all, I'm accepting it in return. Reciprocal. We are selfish bag chasers and we need God's insight through you. We effed around and found. Thank you, Messi. Shout out to Messi says, remember, hashtag face of God. I appreciate you, Messi. Bitcoin Brown is in the building, says, you live your life as an open book and you pour into us daily. Here are your flowers while you are here. Thankful to be a part of this community. Thank you, Bitcoin Brown. And Bitcoin Brown is, what's so funny? Whenever I need like a contractor or somebody to do something, Bitcoin Brown is the one that's actually redoing my website. So I always put money back into my people. If I need something, I'm coming to y'all first. I love y'all. Thank you, Bitcoin Brown. I appreciate you, big dog. Jamal Park says, yesterday you said you don't feel much. I get what you're saying and agree that as men, we have to keep it pushing. Feelings do not reflect what is accurate, but they are real. You got people that love you. I see that. Family isn't the blood that you're born by. Family are the people that's going in the direction that you're going in. Family is going in the direction that you're going in. I'm just going to tell y'all that right now. I'm telling you. Family are not the people that you was born next to. Those are the people that'll do you dirty. Family are the people that'll pray for you and show you love when you need it the most. Easy Money says the gray beard is fired. Oh my God. I done kept this beard way too long. I can't wait to call my barber. All right. Y'all ready to get started with the show? Again, make sure y'all tap into that Teach Hanley, 30% off your first orders, plus a free gift. And then make sure you tap into the Bag Chasers. I'm changing the name from Stock Club. I don't want it to be called Stock Club because I heard Ian Dunlap yesterday, and he called his stuff Stock Club. And I don't want to call it Stock Club. Basically, we're going to be reviewing this Sunday and going over to prepare you for the week of how you could realign your portfolio and what stocks that we paying attention to going into the first and the second quarter, and it's absolutely awesome. And then Breezy says, I got your back, big dog. Here's a 10 ball. Thank you. Trap and Slay is in the building. Oh, my God. You the one that asked the question that started this off yesterday, girl. Says, you changed my thinking process. You saved me, and I thank you. Y'all be trying to hit me heavy in the beginning.
Listen, hit me heavy at the end so that I ain't feeling a certain way when we going through this whole live stream. That's why y'all got me caught up yesterday. I'm not gonna let y'all do it to me again. I got my strong on today. All right, y'all ready to get started with the show? All right, let's get it popping. Quick hit. Quick hits is a segment of the show, and I'm gonna be reading your super chat shortly. Thank you to everybody that's showing love. Quick hits is a segment of the show that we don't think necessarily deserve an entire segment individually, but we still want to keep you guys up to date of what's happening out here in these streets, man. All right. First and foremost, I believe this is absolutely, positively one of the most disrespectful things that you can do. And I know that y'all say that y'all love and rock with Cat Williams and all of this type of stuff, but check this out, man.
You know, even Charlamagne, a lot of people were saying that Cat was trying to downplay your accomplishments. What to you is the driving force behind your success?
My success is my success. I want everybody to win. I love everybody.
I love that. Once again, you know, your ex-wife is going on tour with Cat.
I want everybody to win. I hope the tour is great.
I love that. So you are supportive of her. Thank you, Mr. Hart. I appreciate you.
First of all, the reporter tried to get extra. How much are they paying these reporters out here to troll celebrities? That's one thing that I want to know. How much are they paying these reporters to troll celebrities? So apparently, Tori Hart, I guess that's her name, shout out to Trap and Slay, is going on tour with Cat Williams. Now, I think that this is absolutely disrespectful. I got 2 points to make here. Actually, I got 3 points to make here. Number one is disrespectful on another level, because it's one thing to come at me as a content creator or to come at you as a comedian because you're a public figure and all of this. But it's another thing to start leveraging the people that surround you as ammunition because you may not like anybody. And that's the part that I struggle with, because I know that everybody is on a Cat Williams train. I think that train is about left the station at this point, because everybody wants to see bloodshed and everybody wants to see carnage. But where do you draw the line? What are the rules of engagement? You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing. I think that is disrespectful. And you can't sit here and talk all of this God stuff, but then you're doing spiteful things and bringing family and the mother of my children into it. I think it's absolutely disrespectful. I think that you leave the women and the children out of it and the people that surround it out of it. Come at me. Don't come at them. I think that that's absolutely disrespectful. That's A. B, where is the loyalty amongst you women? Are y'all so bitter and angry? Listen, you being well taken care of. According to reports online, she's being well taken care of. All of the money, all of the resources, you don't even have to take care of the kids on a daily basis. We take care of the kids and we make sure you're taken care of. How much more credit do you want for my success or for being the one that's early in it? Why y'all can't just play y'all roles? Why y'all can't just be quiet? Why y'all always got to get the spotlight? What you think that we going to start checking for you after you go on tour with Cat Williams? You think that we going to start supporting you? The only reason that people is even checking for it in the first place is because you tied to Kevin Hart and they want to see bloodshed between Cat Williams and Kevin Hart. Don't y'all know when y'all being used as pawns that ain't nobody actually checking for you specifically? Anton, she's been a comedian for a while though. Ain't nobody checking for her. Okay, so I tell you what. We did a live stream on a Quick Hits. I think it was yesterday or the day before. And we talked about a Houston rapper named Viper, and he had all of this missing on the front of his head and all of that. If somebody been rapping for the last 30 years, but they never actually made it, are they still a rapper? You know what I'm saying? Like, just because you create content don't mean you're a content creator. And so again, I think it's absolutely disrespectful because there's no reason why he would have checked for her if she wasn't Kevin Hart's wife. Nobody is checking for her. They say she wrote the funny stuff. Okay, they say Dame Dash made Jay-Z. Make another median. Or why you can't do it for yourself? Maybe you a good writer and you're not a good deliverer. Maybe you're not a good comedian. Right? Consequence. Consequence wrote a lot of stuff on Kanye's albums and stuff like that. But Consequence is horrible when it comes to his ability to be able to deliver a rap. Listen, all I'm saying is Why everybody got to play it the way that they playing it? How come everybody can't just play their role and stay quiet and stay loyal? And stay loyal. I would be on fire. And I think that Kevin Hart is handling this 100% correct. I think that Kevin Hart is handling this 100% correct. And all he doing is keeping good energy. And that's a lesson. That's a lesson. Regardless of how people feel about Kev, listen, Kev got one of the funniest stand-ups that I've ever seen and Laugh at My Pain and the one before that. He made himself. He grind. He hustled. He had good energy. He don't do nothing to nobody. He don't come at nobody. And I think that nice guys always catch the shrapnel. And it's not till you start to pull out the big guns and you want to remind people of what's going on. So I think it's disrespectful. And I think that people need to stay in their lanes, but that's just my opinion. Also, on top of this, over in Ecuador, we got problems, ladies and gentlemen. The street gangs is taking over in Ecuador, and they apparently went into a live broadcast and was in there causing carnage. Check this out.
The crisis in Ecuador. The country is descending into violence, including an attack on a TV station during a live broadcast. Matt Rivers has the story. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Michael. Ecuador had been one of the safest countries in South America for years, but over the last few years, it has been rocked by drug-related violence, and this latest incident among the most dramatic we've seen. This morning, authorities in Ecuador investigating a brazen attack on a public television station by an apparent armed gang as, quote, acts of terrorism. The masked men seen here tying crew members on the floor, threatening the staff, waving explosives and guns. Scared staffers inside desperately pleading for their lives. The live broadcast rolling for almost 15 minutes before going dark. Police then surrounding the area, arresting more than a dozen gunmen. The show's deputy director later saying the attack was, quote, extremely violent. This incident, one of many acts of violence that occurred after Ecuador declared a state of emergency Monday, following the disappearance of the leader of the notorious Los Choneros gang from his cell in a Guayaquil prison. And this morning, multiple U.S. airlines, including American Airlines, canceling flights to Guayaquil as a result of the unrest. George?
Okay, Matt, thanks.
So Ecuador is in shambles, and they are on the latest list, the no-fly zone list. So if anybody was deciding that they wanted to go and get their teeth done over in Ecuador, you probably want to be a little bit careful. Masked gunmen broke into the public TV station, live studio during a broadcast and forcing the staff to the floor. And then they stuck around long enough to get arrested by the police. So anyway, Ecuador is basically declaring a war on armed gangs. I don't know why it got to be armed gangs. They should be declaring a war on gangs in general. Armed gangs after the TV station attack on air, because it's one thing to do things behind the scenes, but then when it gets public notice, then you got to be a little bit careful. Carbon Star said that's not true. She writes for several comedians and she is successful. She has been, okay, so when you gonna go see her? When she gonna get her? When she do her special, when Tori, whatever her name is, do her special, when you gonna go see her? I love how y'all automatically just assume that people are successful when she been living off Kev's money for a long time. Come on, listen, if y'all really want to come out, don't worry about it. I'm gonna address this tonight. And it may be a little bit more controversial than you guys may think. I'm going to address this tonight on the Anton Daniels channel, and we going to address loyalty because y'all ain't loyal. Y'all ain't loyal, and y'all keep trying to get the spotlight instead of sitting back and enjoying this life. You always got to get the spotlight. I don't want to go into it because you know what? I didn't know what I was going to talk about tonight. I never know what I'm going to talk about until I start going through the day and then I see things happening. And I'm going to have to address this tonight. These chicks ain't loyal. I know this is the Millionaire Morning Show, so I got to make sure that I edit my language because shout out to the church and all of that and the daycares. But I'm going to get there. We going to get there, and we going to go unfiltered on the Anton Daniels channel tonight. And then last but not least, somebody sent this to me. Never forget. Never forget. Now, this picture is of Nancy Pelosi. And I like to use this picture whenever I'm talking about Nancy Pelosi because this is when she put on her kente cloth and she was in an African American museum, ain't never stepped foot in there before in her life. And she was kneeling down on one knee in order to make sure that she supported Black Lives Matters. But Nancy Pelosi had a 65% return in 2023. I said, whoa. I had an incredible year last year. 2023 was absolutely a stunning year for me. It was a great year. How does Nancy Pelosi regularly, every single year, your favorite politicians, and she's at the top of the list, she's also a Democrat that's trying to close the loopholes on capital gains. How is these people that continue to say things to you but not actually a reflection of it get a 65%? Yo, I think that the regular S&P was at 20-something percent, if I'm not mistaken. It says that Nancy Pelosi's huge portfolio gains, and this is as a report by the New York Post, is making a case for banning stock trading in Congress. So that's what they're trying to get. For some reason, they can't get that law passed. But it said, as Americans sweat over high cost of food and gas, Nancy Pelosi's stock portfolio racked up massive gains in 2023. The former speaker, a consistent high performer in the market, though she had a bad year in 2022 while under increased scrutiny for her trading. So when they started paying attention a little bit more to her trading in 2022 and she was under scrutiny, she had a difficult year like the rest of us. But then she enjoyed a 65% return once they released all of the hounds back again on her investments. And that's better than most major hedge funds. Nancy Pelosi beat your favorite hedge fund. She's regularly destroying your favorite hedge fund. And these are guys that spend every waking moment trying to figure out how they can get an edge up to understand what's going on before it happens and predict exactly how to get the best return for their clients and their constituents. And she's regularly beating the top hedge funds. The keys to her success, according to her, was very lucky. Use of stock options, often a sign of trading on inside information, something members of Congress have a lot of. To let average Americans echo the gains of Democrats in Congress and their spouses, Usual Wells is a site that tracks your favorite Congress members. Last year, and the NANC trading fund, potentially named after Nancy, and in theory, various guardrails preventing blatant insider trading by members of Congress, but ethics watchdogs have raised regular red flags. So Nancy is beating everybody. If you want to understand and you trying to figure out where it is that you should allocate the majority of your resources, make sure you follow Nancy Pelosi and her stock trades because she better than everybody. She's killing everything and everybody, and Nancy Pelosi and your favorite Congress members are racking it up. And ladies and gentlemen, that is your quick hits. Let me read these super chats, and then we're going to continue on with the show. The Gray Way is in the building. Gray Way says, been busy since the new year. Yesterday was my first time watching you in 2024, and you left me. Bless you, bro. You are my family. Shout out to the Gray Way. I appreciate you. I'm going to need you to tune in a little bit more regularly. Mr. P says, this community appreciates you and all that you do for us. Thank you, Mr. P. Jamal Park says, one request for Patreon. Can you make a quarterly segment on politics with Kwame or Eric Mays? I'm in local government, and their insight is invaluable. I literally just talked to Kwame the other day. I actually talk to him probably about every 2 or 3 days, so shout out to Kwame. And then Tanisha says, sending blessings your way, just like yesterday. You deserve it. Keep it going for 2024. Thank you, Tanisha. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, love. LLC says, why not call it Stock Chasers? I don't know. It just doesn't ring the same way. I got to figure that out. I'm going to get it together. Before Sunday when we live stream, I'm going to get it together. JP says the same thing can happen to any South American country. There's alliances between government and cartels. For your information, cartels own most big resorts in Mexico. So you saying when y'all go to Tulum, y'all really supporting the cartels? Okay. Sister. Shout out to Sister. Mr. AD, what about stocked up or fully? I like those. Keep it coming. Keep the suggestions coming. I don't mind those. That's pretty dope. AR Smitty says, Time Dog, did you see Tiffany Henyard on Fox News? Yeah, they riding our wave. We've been the first ones. We've been following this and doing this for a long time. But I'm going to make sure I break that down for tomorrow. That's tomorrow's show. We going to get there. All right, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, on top of that, make sure you tap into that Teach Pack, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. And if you're not a part of the Bag Chasers, if you're not a part of the Patreon, the link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. And make sure y'all tap into the Discord, which is linked in the description of any of the most recent videos inside of the Patreon, all right? Y'all ready to continue to get started with the show? I wanted to tackle this yesterday, and I didn't forget. Shout out to Wealth Building Journey. Definitely going to read that shortly. I wanted to tackle this yesterday, and Oprah was asked by Gayle. Oprah was asked by Gayle about the Taraji feud rumors. Take a look at what happened, y'all.
But before you go, 3 people have stopped me today, Oprah, and said, what is the deal with Oprah and Taraji? What do you want to share with the class? No, I'm addressing that to Oprah.
Oh,
because people
I saw your face.
No, because people think
I know that it's not a deal.
It's not a
but
deal.
people think you're mad, she's mad. I know that that's not true.
Well, first of all, the thing that is so upsetting to me is that somebody went on and something went viral where they're analyzing us on top of the Empire State. We were cold.
Oprah said you were cold.
We were cold. It was cold.
Yeah, there's
the
a whole
fourth thing we
TikTok
had done that day.
Yes.
That was the fourth thing we had done that day. First of all, I just want to say that from the beginning, when I got the first phone call that they were being asked to rent cars because they were in the middle of rehearsal.
Well, I asked for my own car because I like to drive myself. I'm a Southern woman.
So
I
heard that.
First of all, let me give a shout out to Fantasia. Let me give a shout out to Fantasia because Fantasia obviously is paying attention to the assignment. Fantasia is paying attention to this. Shout out to No Captivity with Freezy. He's going to be on the show with me tonight. Fantasia, I'm going to read that super chat shortly. Fantasia obviously understands the assignment. For those of you that's not familiar, I actually broke this down. And Taraji has been basically an annoying thorn in everybody's side over the past month or so since she's been a part of whatever it is that's happening on The Color Purple. Now, Taraji P. Henson, in addition to all the other interviews that she did, Taraji decided to also do another interview with the New York Times in which she basically described how she was unsatisfied with the idea that they had gave everybody rental cars. Now, it's not uncommon for people to drive themselves to whatever the set is when they're filming for a movie. But Taraji said, listen, I want a driver. And I don't like the fact that I don't have a driver driving me over here to the set of The Color Purple, the remix. And so they said, okay. And so she also goes on every single platform, and make sure she discusses every issue that she has with every filmmaker, and specifically now she's throwing her sister under the bus. Now, nobody made her sign it. Nobody made her go and act. Nobody made her be a part of this production. Nobody does any of this. But at what point, and this is the thing that I want to ask y'all, because again, I know that y'all always want to root for the underdog and the ladies need to be making $20 million a film, even though it costs over $100 million to shoot it. And that ain't even including the amount of money that it took in order to, you know what I'm saying, market it, and they still haven't made a return on their money. But when you see a pattern of something, before Oprah even answers this, because I know y'all don't like Oprah, and so now y'all want to make sure that y'all give y'all opinion about whether or not somebody is right or wrong based off of whether or not you like Oprah and the wildfires over in Maui. That don't have nothing to do with the price of potatoes in China. That don't have nothing to do with the price of potatoes in China. Separate how you feel about somebody in order to make an informed decision so you can be smart. This is the thing that men try to remove. They try to remove the emotion. Now, I see a lot of feminine men out here in these streets. You got to remove the emotion so you can make a informed decision. Fantasia understood the assignment. Whether she going through it or not, Fantasia is not going to get the reputation of being difficult to work with. She said, listen, I'm a Southern girl. I prefer to drive myself. Before Oprah even had the opportunity, listen, you got to align yourself with the people that's getting to it. Let's continue.
That Taraji was upset because she'd been asked to do a rental car. I personally called Toby Emmerich, who was at the time the head of Warner Brothers, and he said, well, that means we have to do cars for everybody. Then I said, then we do cars for everybody. And if it's necessary, I will pay for the cars myself. He goes, well, we don't want you to do that. So, you know, from that was one thing, trailers were another thing, food was another thing.
And everything got handled.
Got handled.
I just
so
want
I
people
don't
to know
even know
there's no
why, I don't
beef
even know.
between-
You know what? It's so disturbing to me. Why is my name even in this conversation?
Because you're
Facts. One of the things that Oprah said that Taraji admitted that she said, and Oprah came out and said it regardless of how y'all feel about her. She said, listen, if you got a problem with anything, come to me or let me know, and we will make sure that it gets handled. And so Oprah basically saying, look, why is my name even coming out of their mouth? Why you keep using me, even though I'm just a part of the production or I'm part owner of the movie, but I'm not a part of the director, the producing. Warner Brothers is supposed to take that and all of that. I asked you to handle it with me if you got a problem, and I'll take care of it. But why am I automatically the one that's always got your name in my mouth? And everything that you complained about, we overspent and we handled it.
Oprah Winfrey.
Can I say something?
Why is my
Even the co-workers is like, listen, this is a little extra.
Can I say something before we leave?
Because I have just been the champion for everybody. Yeah.
I want to just say one thing. I'm a mother of young kids. Social media has become a thing. Social media has become a thing where they will take something that's not even true and run it and run it and run it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's almost like you guys, some of the interviews you're posting happened long ago, or it wasn't that, and they will take things. Yes. So at the end of the day, when we first said that this movie was going to be a healing thing at CinemaCon, I knew, without a shot of a doubt, that people would try to break that down. Anything that has healing a part of it, they will do so. So
Now let me again give Fantasia her flowers. Let me give Fantasia her flowers because she understands the assignment. But let me say this also. This is one thing that she's wrong. This is one thing that she's wrong on. And the one thing that I disagree with Fantasia about is social media is taking it and making it something that it's not. It's not. That's not it. It's Taraji that continues to bring and complain and make it something that it's not. Taraji P. Henson, and let me be very clear, because I am not one to mince words. I'm not one to mix words. I'm not one to remix words. I just want to be very, very clear of where I stand on this thing. You can't create something unless it's a seed of doubt that's being sown by somebody that's not being visible, that's not pictured on a set of whatever's happened right here. There is somebody that keeps on doing interviews and going on every platform instead of understanding the assignment. They going out there and they sowing seeds and they're low key throwing y'all under the bus, and they taking all of the visibility away from what they should be doing, which is promoting the movie, which is what you're getting paid for. And they starting to sow seeds of doubt and they complaining about every single thing. And no, Fantasia is not doing too much. Fantasia is basically saying, look, we focus on making a great movie, and low key is somebody out here that's throwing people under the bus that keep trying to make it about them, and it's not supposed to be about them. It's about the movie. It's about the movie. No, Fantasia is standing on business and supporting the production that's paying her, that she signed up to act on. Why is there always somebody? Look, so Taraji was afraid to drive because of liability. She was concerned about her safety. So she don't drive every day? She got a driver every single day, or is it only for this particular movie? She don't got a car? Y'all a mess. Y'all will support. Listen, I know y'all believe in standing on code, but let me also tell you this. You not doing your sister no help by not forcing them and be accountable for the fact that they a diva and they need to change their attitude and be more, let me be a little bit more ignorant on this part, work-wittable. Don't y'all know that the way that you get promoted and the way that you get the bag is by being a cultural fit? It's not by how talented you think you are. That's your reasonable service. You're supposed to be a good actor. You in a movie. The way you get to the bag is by being likable. The way that you get promoted, the way that you go up, and even in corporate America and in business, don't you know what networking is? Networking is making yourself available to and also being likable amongst people that can open doors for you. I know that we forgot that because we in this culture where everybody deserves everything, even though they don't necessarily deserve nothing. And so you go against the thing that actually is going to get you paid instead of the things that make sense for you.
We have to overlook all of that other stuff and keep shining bright, because this movie, The Color Purple, is healing the land, baby. So no matter what, I just want to say, it's nonsense.
There is no thing.
There isn't anything, because what I know is you've been a champion of Taraji and everybody. And that's the only point that
trying to make sure that.
Somebody say you get a bag for portraying the culture as trash, but you subscribe to me. Ali Music. No, I'm not portraying the culture as trash. The culture is trash. I got a bag because my bag is a bag, because I'm going to get paid no matter what. I'm always going to find a way to be successful. It's plenty of people that's riding the wave of this trash culture. Your rappers is actually getting paid for portraying the culture for what it really is and then continuing to create the culture that you love so much that got you crashing out and got your kids out here smoking trees and taking Molly Percocet. No. I get paid because I tell the truth and I add value into people's lives. You portray the culture as trash. I can't portray it to be anything other than exactly what it is. All I do is report the news and give my opinion on it. If it ain't nothing trash in it, then how can I report on it? You're portraying the culture to be trash. No, the culture is trash, and then I hold it up to you to show you what it looked like. And then hopefully you can save yourself and your kids from being a part of it and divesting yourself from it so you can do the thing that's in your own best interest.
Everybody got exactly what they needed. First of all, I am a producer. Scott is a producer.
Yes.
We are not the studio. We are not the studio, okay?
Shout out to Oprah, man. Listen, when Oprah do something wrong, I'm going to say and hold her accountable for it. But when Taraji out here creating a narrative and y'all still standing on this sister code that's actually not best for you, then I'm going to call that out as well. But I'm not going to just continue to say that everything is all good and dandy when I see these women out of control. Let me read some of these super chats and we're going to continue over with the show. Wealth Building Journey says, again, hashtag power couple, a former U.S. House Speaker and current congressperson, and a Wall Street veteran. I wonder how she beat the stock market. Man, that's why I want to go ahead and get me some people that's in office. I don't want to run for office and be in office myself. I just want to be around people that know what's going on with office, and we're going to see what's happening. Kofi, what up? Says, Anton, did you hear about Fani Willis having affairs with her coworker, and now her Trump case is at risk? No, I don't know nothing about that. Did y'all send that to me in an email? AntonDaniels413@gmail.com. Make sure y'all send that to me so we can address that. I'd love to address that. My dog, Freezy, says, good morning, AD and the entire chat. Shout out to Freezy. Make sure y'all tune into the Anton Daniels channel tonight. It's going to be awesome. AL says, over-under on the Pistons winning 5 games. We don't even care because I'm not even renewing next year. Listen, we not going to distract y'all from the fact that the Lions is playing a home playoff game and that the University of Michigan literally just whooped on every single person inside or every team despite all of the obstacles and all of the issues. And now they want Jim Harbaugh to go back to the NFL. We not going to distract away from the thing that's awesome. And the NFL draft is in Detroit in April. And if you want to rent out my penthouse that got the best views of the city, make sure you email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com. We chasers over here. We don't get distracted by all of that. Shout out to Brock with the Pass of Love offering. I appreciate you, big dog. AL says, yeah, in 5 years, she's going to claim she was blackballed. Well, she always can go out over there and hang out with 50. Prince Elian is in the building, says, Taraji should have hired Les Grossman as her agent. Facts. That's a fact, though. Shout out to My Name is Corey, says, y'all tripping about this. Y'all tripping about this is the group, not the individual. If anyone is doing too much, it's Henson making this about her. Everything becomes about, it's just like Monique. Y'all ain't heard nothing about Monique since she stole that money from Netflix and did that horrible special. Mr. Lott says, trying to throw the narrative at Oprah is like trying to sucker punch Tyson. And Oprah's still going to be rich after y'all get done complaining about her and Stedman. Chosen 188 says, here in the STL, my Maserati was stolen and my insurance won't pay out due to having only liability. My newly ex won't even take me to the grocery store after she was the one that convinced me to drop full coverage. I'm 35 at $70K a year. He 50. Shout out to Chosen 188. Hey, we going to have to do better. What are you doing getting a Maserati with $70,000 a year? That's a whole nother conversation, but you're going to have to choose better. Shout out to you for supporting the platform. Shout out to you. Yes, and Monique did steal that money from Netflix, your car. How much is the current Maseratis? Let me see. You're making $70,000. It sounds like you're making some bad life choices all the way across the board, not just with the women that you pick. Maserati new. Let's go to the Maserati website real quick. The Grecali. Nah, I'm sure you ain't had that. You probably had that car. Models. Let's go with the Quattroporte. You paying this much for cars only making $70,000 a year, big dog? Word. Hey, y'all need to tell me how y'all getting all of this money to be able to own a Maserati. If y'all making 70 bands a year and y'all got y'all a Maserati, I need to understand why you dropping coverage in the first place. Why are you dropping coverage in the first? Because I don't see no Maserati that's cheaper than the amount that you make per year. Why you dropping coverage in the first place, A, and then B, why y'all spending money on cars that y'all can't afford? You know how much come on, man. Come on, listen. Pay attention. I'm paying attention to the context clues. Y'all not just going to continue to run that by me and act like I wasn't paying attention. Shout out to P. Shank. Shout out to P. Shank. Says, I believe Taraji thought she was a star and expected another black woman to meet her needs. Taraji thinks she's better than, and maybe, and she maybe, but she need to get an agent who will meet her needs. No, she need to change her attitude. That's what she needs. It's not the agent, it's the attitude. Anthony Boom. Have y'all ever watched Jerry Maguire when he was trying to convince the black dude that the reason why nobody wanted to pay him was because of his attitude? It wasn't that he wasn't good at what he did. It was because of his attitude. Go watch Jerry Maguire. Show me the money. Show me the money. When he was trying to get Cuba Gooding Jr. to change his attitude so that he could be more marketable and be able to get the money, go watch Jerry Maguire. There's a lesson in that. Go watch Jerry Maguire. In all of these movies, don't be just entertained. Make sure that you go and watch it and learn so that you can get the bag also. Anthony Bloom, I appreciate you. Says, shout out Willie D fumbled the bag, and he did an interview with Kat months ago and dropped it after he saw the numbers with Shannon Sharp. Yeah, I was about to review that yesterday, and then once y'all told me that, Anthony, I had to cut it off. I said, I'm not even going to review this. I don't want to do this bad interview. It sounded bland anyway. Jamal Park says, any advice on making your first sale? My strategy right now is to send free products with emails, letters, and see where that goes. Also using social media and flyers to get interest leads. Thoughts? You need to align yourself with content creators. The best way to market whatever product that you need, I shouldn't even be talking about this. I'm going to do it just because you sent the super chat, but this is one of the videos that I'm going to be dropping, and I'm dropping it in detail inside of the Patreon. Make sure y'all watch that last video that I just dropped on Sunday or on Saturday. But the best way for you to market your products is by content creators, influencers, content creators. And you need to not just send it to any content creator. You need to send it to the content creators that more or less aligns with the product that you're trying to market. I was coaching somebody and they was talking about, they was in insurance and their target demographic was people that were retiring or, had aged out of the workforce, and they was trying to get them to sign up for benefits and stuff. And so I was pointing them in a direction that they needed to find people that created content for that so that they can better target that demographic. And then you could do supportive ad spends on different social media platforms, depending on how you target a specific demographic. So I'll give you an example. When I was in a restaurant business, I always kept ads running on social media. And now you have influencers that can basically pitch your product to their audience. And that's why you want to make sure that you get into a specific target demographic. But when I centered that, I made sure that I only ran the ad in a specific space at a specific time around people that was going to patronize it, that was in a radius of wherever it is that I was creating that content at, right? So make sure that you align yourself and do some research on the influencers that you want to pitch, and then make it worth their while, figure out what the package is, and then all of that, so on and so forth. But absolutely make sure that you go with social media marketing. Giving out free products is not enough. It does not mean that they're going to keep it. Sometimes it even means, depending on whatever the product is, that you're devaluing the product by giving it away for free. All right. You want to make it to where people can't live without it and they see the value in it, not just so they can get it for free and then think that they're going to continue to give you money for it. That's not necessarily true. Let's continue on with the show. So New York City is now evicting migrants. Take a look at what's happening out here in these streets. It sounds like somebody is at my door. Let me go and see what's happening.
New York City is set to begin the process of evicting migrant families from city-run shelters.
Starting tomorrow, families exceeding the 60-day stay will be told to leave and reapply for housing. Today, a rally took place in Lower Manhattan where demonstrators called for an end to the shelter limits that are impacting thousands of migrant families. Morgan McKay has more on the eviction process and reaction from City Hall.
You'll come into the arrival center, store your luggage, you receive your next assignments.
Around 4,400 migrant families with children have now received notices that their 60-day shelter stay limits are up and will be evicted out of shelters over the next several weeks on a rolling basis.
Shout out to New York with their eviction process. Eric Adams is on a roll. Yeah, man, listen. I remember you, Eric. You know how I remember you, Eric? I remember when Eric said, send me your sick, send me your poor, bring them all over to New York City. New York City is the space in the state that embraces migrants. We were made based off of migrants. And now New York City is treating migrants like a single baby mama. Rent moratorium. Time is up. They're removing them from shelters now, right in the midst of a storm coming. But we're going to get to that clip shortly.
If they do not have somewhere to go next, they will have to reapply for housing at the Roosevelt Hotel. City Hall says that starting on Tuesday, right now there are about 40 families in total who are unable to find their own housing and will have to reapply for a new hotel room. The city says they will be working to make sure kids can try to stay at the schools that they are currently going to.
If your child is in elementary school, you're the highest priority for us to immediately and quickly give you another placement in Manhattan, preferably close to where your child's in school.
Meanwhile, buses from Texas have continued to drop off migrants at New Jersey train stations, buying them train tickets to New York City in order to avoid any fines or lawsuits as a result of Mayor Eric Adams' executive order banning unannounced buses. Adams also announced a lawsuit against 17 bus companies last week in order to recoup money for having to care and shelter these migrants.
Nope. And I just looked at a report that says that currently Texas have allocated over $100 million a year in a budget to make sure that they spread the love. Spread the love. And what do I mean by spreading the love? Making sure that migrants get spread out all across the United States, not just in Texas.
Now, New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy issued a letter to these bus companies also outlining several rules similar to Adams. And although it does not come with any penalties, the Adams administration praised this move.
We're going to be aggressive in our actions of what the bus companies and Governor Abbott is doing. And so we're not going to leave any stone unturned.
Now, Mayor Eric Adams says he'll be traveling to Albany on Tuesday for Governor Kathy Hochul's State of the State address, and we'll be watching to see if she makes a real commitment to funding migrant shelters and moving migrants to upstate counties. Reporting
now, here's the key. Here's another key to this, and a thing that a lot of people are not taking into consideration. And we all want to know that we all want to ask the question to the answer that we never get any answers to. Or we all want to ask the question to the mayors that we never get any answer to. How come nobody is calling Biden's name publicly? Is Biden the boogeyman? Is Biden the boogeyman? They talk about Greg Abbott. They say we gonna sue. Is Biden really the real gangster out here in these streets? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that he is. I know that when Eric Adams started stepping out of line, he started getting the Fed charges. They started going through his cell phone. His campaign managers got that raid up in their crib. Is Biden the boogeyman? Is all I want to know. Because, I was talking to Kwame, and he said, Anton, have y'all really paid attention to what's going on out here in these streets? Politically? And I said, no, Kwame, what do you think? He said, Anton, don't you realize that Biden is the greatest politician of all time? I said, no, because my initial thought was no way. No way. He said, dog, Biden has evolved and turned into a chameleon depending on whatever decade that he's in at that time. And he's been successful in every single step of the way. I said, what? He said, yes. He said that he wrote the legislature and he held black people accountable. He then attached himself to one of the people that was on the rise as far as Barack Obama. And now he's embracing and then escaping any accountability that comes along with his role and continue to perpetuate what Barack Obama champion is the alphabet community agenda, along with the fact that he held black people accountable in order to get himself in office. He said he shapeshifted and he's continued to evolve decade after decade after decade and then be a chameleon depending on whoever it is that's looking at him at that particular time. He says he's been successful along. He says Biden has been the most quietly successful politician.
Heavy winds and rain forced the city to temporarily relocate nearly 2,000 migrants who are receiving housing at Floyd Bennett Field in Brooklyn.
Yeah, they were bused to a local high school to ride out the storm. It's just the latest challenge the city has faced in its migrant housing crisis.
NBC News correspondent Antonia Hilton joins us now from outside James Madison High School with more on this. So, Antonia, walk us through the city's decision to relocate the migrants to the high school. What's the latest going on there?
Good morning, guys. Well, look, the city felt they had no other option here. These families, the almost 2,000 migrants who were staying at Floyd Bennett Field, they were staying in an area in a winterized tent on what's an old federal runway. So that means there was no way for the city to nail the tent down to make sure that it would be secure through the night as the city faced these rains and very heavy winds. And so they very quickly made the decision that these folks had to board a bus or a number of buses and make their way more than 5 miles here to the high school behind me, where they slept in a gymnasium overnight. And the concern from advocates and from lawyers who work with these families here in New York is that this is all part, and it's really adding to a number of disruptions that these families, many of them with very small children, have been experiencing in recent weeks as the surge with thousands of new migrants arriving every single week in New York City has really pressed the city to find additional beds, to find spaces, to get creative, and it's getting, frankly, really difficult. And so with all of that, these families have moved several times in some cases. It's very difficult for the kids who've been enrolled in schools here. And so this is all part of the difficulty, whether kind of meeting the other political challenge that New York is facing right now, guys.
So basically, somehow, some way, nobody forgot or everybody forgot that every last one of these places When Eric Adams said, hey, send me your cold, send me your sick, send me everybody that's a problem, send me, just leave the borders open, and we don't care, and we're a sanctuary city. And then over in Chicago, where they labeled them the Windy City, right? Nobody took into account that when they were accepting all of these migrants, that A, they didn't have the money to really support them, and then B, it was going to be cold outside. And we've had a relatively mild winter considering that we already in January. It's going to be cold outside, and you're going to have to be accountable. You're going to be held accountable for this. No good deed goes unpunished. And so while y'all was pitching for the migrants to continue to come to your city, and then Greg Abbott obliged him, like my dog Brad Pitt, they obliged you, and now you want to claim victim. Now you want to claim that you got an issue and that you're the victim in this whole situation, when in reality, we know what's really going on. You afraid to call out daddy. You afraid to close off the borders. If you could, I believe that most of these mayors and people that are towing party lines, honestly, I think that they prefer Trump. I think that they prefer Trump. I do think they'll never say it. They can't say it. They can't go against their daddies. They know that there's lobbyists that fund certain things and all of that make money. We know that Chicago over here giving $70 million contracts to staffing companies. And so it's people that got a lot of money on the line to make sure that everybody stays in purpose. I believe that most of these mayors, if they could actually pick the person that they wanted to run things and made sure Congress got in line and all of our legislators was on the right page, I think that they would support Trump. Considering the alternative, considering what they got to go through, even if they don't like him, I think that they would support him because I think that they're going to suffer. And there's going to be a lot of people that are not reelected. Thank God on Brandon Johnson's staff. Thank God he only 8 months in because he got another 3.5 years to be able to get kicked out of office. But I think that they prefer Trump. I honestly think that they prefer him.
Anton, I understand that students at this high school that you're at, where migrants were relocated, because of that, they are doing virtual learning today, not in class, expected to return to campus tomorrow. How are parents responding to that?
Hey, shout out to the migrants sleeping in a gymnasium while doing virtual learning.
That's right, Savannah. So kids are all at home. We've seen a few people walk up and see that the doors are locked and then go back home. And it's caused some confusion and some anger from some members of the community here in Brooklyn. And actually, in about an hour and a half, some of those parents are going to be meeting with a local assemblyman and hosting basically a rally here right in front of the high school, in which they're going to try to have some of their voices heard by city officials. And, you know, this is a very diverse community. This is a majority minority school district here in the city. And so many of these kids relate to immigrants, but the challenges here that all of this has caused for some communities as kids both join classes or it's caused disruptions like what happened last night, it's angered these families and they want the mayor to stop.
Shout out to the mayor. Let's see what's happening on another front because I see they getting kicked out of the hotels. This is them actually moving into the schools in a gymnasium after being evicted.
9:12 right now in a news alert out of New York City. Students are being forced to learn online as nearly 2,000 migrants move into their school.
Nate Foy is live in Brooklyn with the latest with what's going on. Nate, what can you tell us about this?
Well, good morning. I can tell you that a couple state assemblymen and concerned parents just spoke moments ago, and they are very upset that the students at this school, 3,600 students, are learning remotely today because of those nearly 2,000 migrants that moved in last night at the city's direction. Those migrants, because the weather is a bit better today than it was last night, have since been moved back to their tent facility. That happened at 4:30 this morning, but the impact continues for the students today. They're learning remotely. All sports practices have been canceled, and we just heard from concerned parents saying that some teachers aren't even showing up for the remote learning sessions. So they say that this...
Hey, shout out to the New York teachers that's not even showing up for the remote learning lessons They ain't even getting out of bed, but they out here listening to the Millionaire Morning Show. Shout out to the teachers that didn't roll out of bed in order to show up for the remote learning lessons. They said, man, these kids don't even speak English. I can't speak Espanol. I can't speak Espanol. Hey, shout out to all of y'all that was a part of the pandemic that y'all couldn't get to work on time and all you had to do was turn on your laptop. Shout out to all of y'all that forgot that y'all camera was on and y'all was sitting there in y'all pajamas and you never brushed your teeth. Shout out to the people that also didn't believe that they needed to brush their teeth just because they was working from home. Hygiene is important. Teachers not even turning on their laptops for the remote learning sessions while these people is over in the gymnasium. 2,000 migrants, half of them don't even speak English, trying to get an Espanol education over here in New York City. Yo, Eric Adams is trash.
Really is not a situation that they're comfortable with. But take a look at this video as you see those 2,000 migrants arrive here last night. Again, it was because of bad weather threatening their nearby tent facility. The school notified parents of the students. The city writing, quote, "The health and safety of migrants in our care is always a top priority, which is why we are currently overseeing the relocation of 1,900 guests from the Humanitarian Emergency Response and Relief Center at Floyd Bennett Field."
And guess what? We got more on the way for you. We not stopping to send these migrants over to your city. You can throw all of the lawsuits that you want to up there. Abbott got a gift for you. Migrants all year long.
Relocation is forcing students to again learn at home, a proven disaster for learning as we saw during COVID. Florida Governor and presidential hopeful Ron DeSantis spoke about this last night. Listen here.
The government is commandeering the school to house illegal aliens.
So the migrants now are back at Floyd Bennett Field, but many are wondering for how long. Of course, we're in the middle of winter here in New York City. We just had a nor'easter over the weekend, and harsh conditions are expected, throughout the winter. So people are concerned that this could happen again. Not only.
Listen, you could just forget it, bro. Just forget it. It's over. The American dream, as you know it, it doesn't mean the American dream itself is over. But the American dream, as you know it, is gone forever. It's finito. Finito. It's done. There's nothing else to it. There's nothing else to it. There's nothing going to be made of it. After Eric Adams, Brandon Johnson, and Brandon Johnson, he a slick one. He want to throw the black card in there, and he want to be online with Al Sharpton. And white mayor Mike Johnston, all of these mayors over there in California, Karen Bass. Yeah. Y'all been running these cities into the ground for a long time now, and it just took a little bit of a migrant crisis to upend everything. And I don't think we ever going back. I don't think that we ever going back. I'm happy to be where I am. I'm absolutely happy to be where I am. Let me read some of the super chats. I know I missed a couple because I had an interruption in service over here for whatever reason. I don't know if it's super windy outside, but I'm having connection issues, so I had to connect differently in order to continue to live stream and not have to start a completely new live stream. Kings and Priest says, Crime Bill Zaddy slinging a whip like, I dare you. I dare you. This ain't no dream, your car. This is real life. CivLap says, remote learning should be old hat to students now. The parents probably don't want the kids at home doing God knows what, though. You know baby mama's over there chilling. You know the baby mama's over there chilling. Hey, shout out to T-Mac for the 10 ball on Cash App. I appreciate you, big dog. Jamal Fowler says, sliding through once again. Pete, thank you, Jamal. Thank you, Jamal. I appreciate you. Wealth Building Journey says, the American dream is to own a profitable business. Nope. The American dream is to get rich, own a home, have children, and then be able to get boxed all day long. I was about to say the mother words, but I remembered that we on the Millionaire Morning Show. The American dream is to have children, own a home, get boxed all day long, and then be able to have enough money to be able to do what you want to do when you want to do it and get rich. Flat out. That's the American dream. American dream, listen, most profitable business owners don't even want to continue to run their business. The American dream is to lay up, get boxed all day long, feel good about yourself, Have a home which you ain't got to worry about the repo man coming and take your cars out of. Have cars and then be able to travel and do what you want to do when you want to do it, and then have some good kids that ain't got to go through student loan forgiveness. That is the American dream. That is the American dream. Lay up, have sex. Sex ain't no bad word. Lay up, have sex, do what you want to do, and make it happen. That's the American. Everybody I know is chasing that. They don't want to run their own business all day long. Who want to do that? Who want to be sitting up running a business all day long when they feel like their purpose is to chase butterflies in a field all day? You know what I'm saying? Most people is chasing residual income. They not chasing to work hard for their money. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to JP. JP says migrants are out at Martha's Vineyard relaxing. That's the American dream. That's the American dream. Straight up. All right, let's continue over to the next thing. I'm going to continue to read super chats throughout the show. Hopefully, we don't have any more problems or interruptions with our connection as we continue going with the show. Make sure y'all tap into that Teach Hanley. 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Also, Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Jonathan Majors. They dropped another part of the interview. I think it was partially the full interview. They don't be doing no long interviews. But Jonathan Majors was speaking on his future career in Hollywood. I haven't looked at it yet. I'm actually looking forward to it. I want to see the rest of what he had to say and what he think his career is going to be like after Grace Jabari, his former ex-girlfriend, threw him under the bus and got him convicted.
Now to more of my exclusive interview with Jonathan.
That lady is hot. Before we get into the Jonathan Majors interview, this lady is slapping. I like what she got going on there. I like the curls. It looked like her hair is natural. She got on all black. Y'all said she married? All right, well, we going to leave her alone if she married. Married women is off limits, but it don't mean that she ain't still bad.
Majors, the actor who was convicted of misdemeanor reckless assault and harassment just as his career was taking off. Majors says he always intended to take the witness stand, but didn't in the end because he felt the prior testimony was so compelling that there was nothing else for him to add.
Wait, did y'all just say she not cute? Sam the guy? Okay, hold on. Before we get into this, what type of women are y'all dealing with? Y'all must be dealing with 12s out of 10s. Okay, now y'all saying she can pass for a transformer. Y'all a mess. Y'all are a mess. Now regular everyday women can pass. Man, she look better than your auntie. Come on. Y'all hating on her. This woman look better than your aunt. I know what y'all aunties look like. Oh, she a 4 out of 5? Let's continue. Because, listen, these scales, for some reason, is wild. These scales are wild, bro. These scales are wild. Y'all said that she below average? She below average. And she 52 years old? Hold on. What's this lady's name? What is it? What is this woman's name? What is this woman's name? We're going to get to Jonathan Majors, but this is an interactive show for those of you that's just arriving. What is this woman's name? What? Anybody know this woman's name? Nobody know her name? All right. Whenever y'all figure out her name, y'all let me know her name, because I need to really understand what her how old she is. I want to know the background now. Y'all wild. Y'all are absolutely wild. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are crazy. Her name is Lindsay Davis. All right, let me look up her age. This woman is 52 years old. She is 52 years old. No way that y'all are hating on this woman. No way that y'all hate. This woman is, man, y'all crazy. Y'all smoking crack. Y'all are smoking crack. Ain't no way in the world that you telling me that this woman at 52 years old is a 4. No way, no how. Y'all on something. Y'all been smoking a long time. A very, very long time. I might be off. Maybe I'm just completely off. But ain't no way in the world that y'all telling me that this 52-year-old woman at 52 years old is a 4 or a 3. No way. No way. Y'all out of y'all mind. Y'all smoking crack, and I'm not going for it. I'm not going for it. Find me, and we're going to get into this Jonathan Majors conversation. Find me 10 52-year-olds that look better than her in real life. Find me 10 52-year-olds that look better than her. Y'all smoking crack. Y'all out of y'all mind.
But now that the jury has spoken, he felt it was time to tell his story.
It has been very, very, very hard and very difficult and confusing in many ways.
Jonathan Majors breaking his silence just weeks after a Manhattan jury found him guilty of misdemeanor reckless assault and harassment of his ex-girlfriend Grace Jabari. The actor at
Send
times
that to me, Love C.
emotional.
Oh, sorry. I haven't.
And he doing a phenomenal job with his acting, right? He hit us with this. He said, he hit us with the eye pull. Hey, when y'all cry, shout out to Jonathan Majors, because I'm actually a huge supporter of Jonathan Majors. When y'all cry, does it only come out of one eye? Because it seemed like they only do like this. They don't do like this. And I think that he's an excellent actor. When y'all cry, does it only come out of one eye? Is all I want to know.
I haven't seen my daughter in a long time, and a lot of it has to do with this situation.
In a split verdict, Majors was found not guilty of 2 other misdemeanors, assault with intent to cause physical injury and aggravated assault.
Did Megan Good, everybody keep talking about how Megan Good ain't around no more. Where did y'all get that report from? Where did y'all get that report from? I'm going to read that super chat shortly. Where did y'all get the report from that says that Megan Good left him now that the trial is over? I'm trying to understand that.
They're saying you didn't intend to injure her, but the result of your recklessness injured her.
Right.
Were you reckless?
That woman is nice looking. Do you know what? Y'all know why y'all hating on that woman? Y'all know why y'all hating on that woman? Because y'all y'all have been trained to look at these hoes with BBLs, butterfly eyelashes. They don't even got their real hair on their head. They got big old foreheads, and everything is bad. That's why y'all don't even know what a natural woman look like no more. Y'all don't even know what a regular chick that ain't got her ass out, and ass is not a cuss word. Y'all don't even know what a regular person look like no more. And so now you think that these crazy, wild shaped chicks that is inflated and deflated at the same time, y'all think that these women is normal. That's not normal. That's not normal. It's not normal for women to get their ribs taken out and they be working out with waist trainers all day and that's what they supposed to look like. That's not what normal looks like no more. That's not normal.
The result of your recklessness
Right.
injured her.
Right.
Were you reckless?
I was reckless with
Your
her
mama
heart,
a rookie.
Not with her body.
not with her body.
The physical altercation started inside an SUV after Majors received a suggestive text message from another woman. Hours later, after Majors placed a 911 call, police found
I like
Jabari
big heads. Don't worry
unconscious
about
on
it,
the
Messi.
closet floor in their apartment, as seen in this body camera footage.
You feel that you did anything wrong on the night of March 25th? If you could relive that night?
I wouldn't have picked her up. I wouldn't have picked her up. I wouldn't have put her back in the car. I wouldn't have tried to keep her in the car. I would have gotten out that car and ran immediately.
The two met back in 2021 on the set of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
I told y'all that they met on the set of Ant-Man and the Wasp. Y'all keep lying to me. No, they was together way before that. No. They met on the set of Ant-Man and the Wasp. So if y'all trying to get y'all a Hollywood man, you trying to get you a Jonathan Majors, all you got to do is get you a job as baking cookies on the set of a lot of these Hollywood sets, and y'all could get yourselves noticed. It ain't hard to get y'all a man of finesse. Why you saying you blocked and you typing in the chat? What are you talking about? They met on the set of Ant-Man and the Wasp. She seen him on the come up on Kang the Conqueror, and somehow, some way, she got her flat back finessed into his life. Next thing you know, she chasing him down the street and she getting him convicted. That's a fact. They met on the set of Ant-Man and the Wasp. I know what I'm talking about. My research is iron tight.
The prosecution has described your relationship with Grace Jabari as tumultuous and abusive. How would you describe that 2-year relationship?
I loved Grace. Our relationship was not healthy, you know, and that began to reveal itself over time.
Why'd you stay?
I was scared. With the red flags, I found that, and I use this word, I said, oh, this is dangerous. This is months before the incident.
And we love them dangerous ones. We love that toxic box. Can't get enough of it. We love that toxic box. Can't get enough of the toxicity. We can't wait to get back home to that toxic box. Not me, though. Y'all gonna have all of the toxic box that y'all want to. He loved her flat back. What could this woman possibly do? What could she possibly do? When you think about this and you start putting it in perspective and you think about a Jonathan Majors versus Grace, and I ain't met a Grace that's been graceful my entire life. When you think about that, what could these women possibly do for you that you say, Anton, does Majors brush his hair backwards? Watch any man that brushes hair like this. That man is not to be trusted. Any man that brushes hair backwards he's just as, if not less trustworthy than a man that don't have no stash. Flat out.
Been brave. I should have said, no, this isn't working. And I should have walked away. And I didn't.
Troubling signs in the relationship.
Any man that got reverse waves, I don't trust you. Azriel said, who brushes their hair backwards? There's plenty of men that brush their hair backwards and they don't even have long hair. It's plenty of men that got reverse waves. See, Maurice Crane Jr. said he brushed his hair back and he feel attacked. Y'all ain't never seen a man with waves going to the side or back. Do you know who else had that? Jadinya. Have y'all ever seen that dude Jadinya before? Let me see if I can find him. Jadinya is the dude that then think that it's normal for men to compliment and say how sexy another man is. Jadinya waves. Have you ever seen a Jadinya dude when he first came out that I'm a classic man? Y'all remember what his hair used to look like before he got Pump Waves, he came out with you know, that black lady that then identified as non-binary or some crap like that. Oh, he had longer hair, so it might be a little bit different. Got the Jadenia waves. These right here. Let me show it to you. All right. These may be. All right. Hold on. Wait. Let me find the real ones. Black man waves backwards. Reverse waves. No, that ain't it. That ain't it. That ain't it. None of that is it. This might be it right here. If you find a man with hair like this, if you see a man with hair like this, the comb back. If you see a man with hair like when it's going to the side / back, because it's never just straight on. It's usually to the back side. Now look at the witchcraft. Look at it on the left, and then look at it on the right. That man is not to be trusted. This is not a man to be trusted right here. If you see a man whose hair is anything like this, this is not 1950. Anything like this, do not trust him. Let's get back to Jonathan Majors. We don't want to get too distracted.
Were revealed when prosecutors presented text messages where Majors expressed suicidal thoughts, saying, "Maybe I'm such a monster and horrible man that I don't deserve it and should just kill myself."
Were you suicidal?
The ideations of removing myself from situations permanently is a thought that I've had, since I was a kid, since I was a young boy on the farm in Texas, it's not there anymore. I've done that. I'm doing the work to keep it at bay and make sure it's not there anymore.
Through it all, Major's new girlfriend, actress Megan Good, has remained by his side, even present for our interview.
How would you describe your relationship?
So why y'all acting like she broke up with him and she present for the interview? Listen, Megan, look, shout out to the good black women that continue to finesse these men out of their socks. Look at this man right here. Despite the fact that I support Jonathan Majors and his demeanor says, don't trust a man time to do your taxes. Despite the fact that this man has on black leather boots, bell-bottom jeans, combs his hair to the back, no hairline and no stash or beard, this woman decided to stick with him. She see it come up. This man has on leather boots, leather shoe boots, black bell-bottom jeans, with the boots, with the fur. The whole club was looking at her. Whoa, she hit the flow. So they got low. That boy got on them apple bottom jeans and the boots with the fur, The whole club was staring at her. Shout out to all of the guys that got on them Obama mom jeans and them apple bottom jeans with the boots with the fur.
She's an angel. She's held me down like...
Look at her right there.
Like a Coretta, He
went and got his Coretta.
I'm so blessed to have her. The relationship is still fresh, but,
Holding him down like a Coretta.
I think I found her.
The March 2023 incident thrust Major's dating
Never give women too much credit, especially on a natural platform. On a public platform. Because then they're going to hold that against y'all if y'all break up. So you sitting there and you saying, yeah, man, I found my Coretta. It's making good now. I found my Coretta. It's making good. Don't give her too much credit because she may not be sticking around too much longer. And then now all of the women going to be supporting her and rocking with her. And then if you break up with her, they're going to turn against you. Don't do it. You made a mistake the last time. Don't do it again. Tim Matthews, you said your wife got them jeans? So do mine.
Into the forefront. A Rolling Stone article back in June detailed multiple allegations of abusive behavior dating back to Majors' relationships in college. Allegations Majors vehemently denies. His attorneys offered past partners to defend him.
Have you ever had issues with domestic abuse?
I've witnessed it, but never participated. You know, I mean, I've been smacked up before. You know, but.
I'm sorry, let me turn that up again.
I've been smacked up before, you know, but...
What does that mean?
Know, I mean, I've been smacked up before, you know, but... Yeah, never exercised it. Yeah, never, but...
He said he's been smacked up before? Is that what he's saying?
I've been smacked up before.
He said, I've been smacked up before. I got you. Had to hear that twice, 3 times.
Never exercised it. Those relationships went back to when I was 21, 22 years old, and I just think, was I a jerk? You know, was I, a mean guy? You know, and I go,
nope. Nobody should ever put their hands on.
I'm like, oh, severe depression, childhood trauma. I've had very few relationships. So I can gather what situations we're talking about.
Come on, talk faster.
I was not the best boyfriend all the time.
But never hit a woman?
Never hit a woman. My hands have never struck a woman, ever.
After gaining critical acclaim for films like The Last Black Man in San Francisco, Majors' once red-hot career is now seemingly at a standstill.
How are you feeling?
Moments after the verdict, Marvel Studios dropped him. He was set to play the prominent character Kang in upcoming films.
I am Kang!
But despite the possibility of serving...
Look at that man's hair. You telling me you trust him? I don't. Not to do my taxes, at least. I trust him as a person and as a human being, and I think that he's a phenomenal actor. I think he got railroaded. But if you asking me to give my taxes to this man, heck no, not with hair combed backwards. So you gonna not brush the sides and you gonna brush your hair backwards? Nope, not gonna happen.
Time, Majors believes the script for his career is still being written.
You think he'll ever work in Hollywood again?
Yeah, I do. I pray I do. But it's God's plan and God's timing.
For those who say, look,
too soft-spoken for me. You got to talk with a little bit more aggression in your voice.
He's convicted at this point.
I want my people, when they get interviewed on these national platforms, to talk like how R. Kelly was talking to Gayle. I want them to be animated. I want them out of their chair and to be absolutely animated when they talking about what they talking about. I want my people, why y'all trying to railroad me? I ain't did nothing. I want my people to be just as animated as R. Kelly was when he was being interviewed by Gayle.
What would you say? I mean, do you deserve a second chance?
Well, I think I do. I hope other people think that.
During closing arguments, Jonathan Majors' attorney said his worst fears as a black man calling 911 in America came true. Those words brought Majors to tears in court. He says race very much played a role in his arrest. He claims he was injured. He points to surveillance video where Grace Jabari pursued him, chasing him for blocks. She was arrested but never prosecuted. He calls that unjust. And we'll have more.
And I agree with him. She caused all of this havoc and everything, and then all of a sudden, she was arrested, but she was never charged. I want all of my women that put their hands on people. Listen, I think that Jonathan Majors need to go back to the drawing board. And I think that he needs to go back and look at every woman that ever put his hands on him, and he should sue. He should, the same way that they throwing all of these lawsuits on these men and saying, oh, no, he hit me back in 1973. I think that Jonathan Majors need to go back and sue every past girlfriend that ever put their hands on him. Eye for an eye. Forgive me, Lord. Don't worry about it. Mr. Maximus, I appreciate you for holding me down. Says, what y'all mad about? The migrant men could build my houses. The women give me Gift and Gog. It's a win. Yo, Mr. Maximus is absolutely one of the wildest men on the internet. And I know when I see his super chat, I got to pre-read it before I start showing it. Kings and Priest says, some of these guys prefer buffaloes with weave. And just because a girl got a really big butt, it don't mean that she's not fat. A lot of y'all getting into confusing. You think, oh man, she got a big butt and she got a wide low. No, family, she weighed 210 and she 5'3". That's not normal. But look how big her butt is. But look how big her arms are too. She can put you on an arm lock, a finger four, an arm bar. I'm telling you the truth. Just because she thick don't mean that she not fat. We got fat mixed up with thick. Y'all skipped right over fat and y'all just said thick. Or you keep talking about she big boned. Look how her mama is. Oh man, they eat neck bones. Well, that don't make your bones no bigger. All of our bones is the same. I never seen them dig up a fossil. Shout out to Kings and Priests. I've never seen them dig up a fossil and say, oh man, that was one of them big boned women. That's not what they do. They don't pick up big boned fossils. Can y'all tell whether or not somebody was big when they look at their skeleton? No, all of the skeletons was the same size. So what is big boned and where did it come from? I ain't gonna be the dead horse. Shout out to Love C. Hey Anton, I'm by the old CVS and they making a migrant shelter. They have a heated tent up and renovations are being done. And I stopped to check it. Love C, you're gonna have to send me that footage. You're gonna have to send me that footage, Love C. You're gonna have to send me that footage. I got into a debate with Rita the other day, and I don't remember where we was driving from. I think we was driving from Miami or something. Or we was coming back. And I said, hey, did you know that past a certain age, most black women actually weigh more than men? And she said, that's not true. That's not true. Where did you get that from? And I was like, listen, I can't look it up right now because I'm driving, but it's absolutely true. That is a real fact. That as we age, men tend to age down and women age out. That's a fact, though. Shout out to Love C. Send me that footage. P. Rothstein 216 says, what up, Anton? They got to stop the cap. Lindsey Davis is bad at 52, 42, 32, and 22. I agree with you. Shout out to Prince Alien says, I wish I never met her at all, even though I love her so. That's Carl Thomas, right? Nobody can sing like Carl Thomas. I'm not even going to try to imitate Carl Thomas. Shout out to Carl Thomas because I'm going to have to pull something from the bottom if I really want to get to that Carl Thomas status. Purple Hayes says, Anton, show a pickability, will you? They stress eating out here. Easy Money says, this is what they're used to Muppets. I know. Big heads, big butts, wide arms. Black Cartwright says, the Graces I know sure knew how to grace a D. Oh God. No. Knob says, Anton, you should trademark Toxic Box. Should I trademark that? With the spinoff Toxic Juice Box. Oh, not the Toxic Juice Box. That good you can't get enough of. Glad you back, big dog. We here. Listen, I did not hurt myself. Messy Mathematician says, side note, Jonathan Majors has a civil. He do, don't he? He looked like he was Martin with Martin, don't he? Lenny Deadstock. Shout out to Lenny Deadstock says the Smithsonian is hiding all of the big boned women's skeletons. No, they not. They not there. All of the bones is the same size. Latrell M says Jonathan Majors sounds like Michael Jackson. No, Mike had that live. I wonder if nobody ever questioned how Mike got such a high voice for the whole life. They always knew that he was bleaching, but they never understood how he was able to get that high voice. I like Mr. Majors. All right. Let's continue over. We got to get to the money, y'all. BYD. Have y'all ever heard of BYD? BYD, and this is why I can't stand Americans. Let me say that right away. This is one of the main reasons why I can't stand the Americanas. You know why I can't stand Americanas? Huh? Because y'all sat here and y'all rejected me. You rejected my theory. You rejected my pleas. You rejected the idea that electric cars were going to come, whether you like them or not, and they're being embraced worldwide. And I said, listen, the Tesla Model Y is the top selling vehicle in this particular quarter worldwide. And y'all said, no, you're lying. That's not true. It's going to be the F-150. No, the F-150 is the top selling one in America. But guess what? We're on a worldwide stage. Nobody cares only what you think inside of the United States of the Americas. Okay? We're on a worldwide stage. And though these automakers here inside of the United States of America, they continue to reject innovation, Chinese electric car companies like BYD, I believe that stands for Build Your Dreams. I don't remember what it stands for. They're taking over the world, including Tesla. Check it out. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. And what we really need to be discussing is there an investment opportunity here? Because it's not about how you feel. It's more or less about how you can make money from it. Let's go on.
It likes to describe itself as
the biggest car brand you've never heard of.
Now, China's BYD has overtaken Tesla as the world's largest seller of electric vehicles. Even if you've never heard of BYD, there's a chance you've been in one of its buses.
Did y'all know that BYD was selling buses over to Los Angeles? A Chinese electric vehicle motor company is selling buses worldwide, and they're leveraging their technology to innovate faster while we sit here and we trying to reject change that we already know is going to happen. We already know that change is happening. And so you're going to be playing catch up in the same way that they playing catch up to a lot of these other automakers already. And they've already innovated themselves, and they're coming here to the United States of America. Listen. You have not really seen them on your streets, but I'm telling you that they're coming. BYD is absolutely positively on my watch list, and we're going to talk about it in the stock club that we're going to go into over the weekend. BYD is absolutely one of my sleepers, and I think that they are going to be a massive hit, and I could be wrong. But I believe, based off of my studies and understandings of the automotive industry, and especially when it comes to innovation, I believe that they are going to be at the forefront of whatever this electric car movement is worldwide. Not just locally, worldwide.
Taxis prowl the streets of some of the world's biggest cities. But buses and taxis aren't the reason why BYD has overtaken Tesla. Instead, it's a fruit of long-term strategic thinking on the part of BYD itself and the Chinese government. And it's setting China up to be the dominant global player in the transportation of the future. Electric vehicles, a business that could be worth $8.8 trillion by the end of the decade.
$8.8 trillion by the end of the decade. Y'all gonna ignore that? $8.8 trillion by the end of the decade. We ignoring that? Okay.
Most important things that have made BYD the king of EVs. The Chinese government.
We're going to debate it, Yakar, inside of the Patreon on this weekend. I want all pushback. I want all of that because we need to figure out where we need to be investing our money.
Has played a huge role in BYD's rise.
We've arguably never seen anything like this in terms of, the amount of support that China has extended to automakers, specifically pertaining to EVs.
Beijing has given an estimated $30 billion of tax exemptions to the industry since 2010 and may waive a further $97 billion by 2027.
China actually takes a carrot and stick approach. They set
mandatory EV output targets for automakers, but they also offer cheaper loans and cheaper land and R&D subsidies to all those EV makers.
And BYD has been a massive beneficiary of that. It still sells most of its electric vehicles in its home market. But of course, Tesla has also benefited from Chinese subsidies, which is where the second reason for BYD's rise comes in.
And it's funny because Tesla is one of the very few automakers and companies at all. Tesla is one of the very few automakers and companies at all that's been able to somehow, some way, and I have no clue how Elon Musk did it, but somehow, some way has convinced the federal government and China to allow them to do business without outsourcing proprietary technology. So basically, they didn't have to partner with a Chinese company and then get all of their innovations stolen. Like most other automakers and most other manufacturers, they was able to stay a standalone company and be able to sell their vehicles over in China. So it's truly a global marketplace.
Most of BYD's cars are simply a lot cheaper than Tesla's. In fact, it sells 10 popular models starting from less than Tesla's cheapest offering for the Model 3 sedan. And BYD sells a lot more of the cheaper vehicles in its lineup.
They have very cheap models starting from $10,000 US.
Their approach has been extremely different in the sense that Elon Musk believed that you had to sort of start from the high end with a sexy performance car to get people interested in electric cars and then work your way down the price spectrum. BYD went at it from the other end, where it was about cheap taxis and buses that needed a heck of a lot of batteries, and really sort of, drove down the prices of the batteries that they could put into passenger cars.
While the average price paid for a Tesla is about $45,000, the average BYD sells for roughly half that.
And that's the thing that they're going to get you with, because that's the thing that got y'all hooked into a lot of these Japanese and Korean automakers from the very beginning. So the European automakers is a little bit different, right? But when we talk about the most profitable automakers inside of the United States of America and the ones that's gaining steam, Hyundai and Kia did a very similar thing with Genesis. Now people are starting to look at the Genesis brand and they saying, man, they're offering way more luxury than the other automakers that's in the luxury space. Because what they did was they drove down the cost of luxury and batteries and so on and so forth in order to be able to extend it into other vehicles that then made them a lot more profitable than U.S. automakers and Europeans. And so Europeans is largely dependent on the name brand and the recognition and whether or not you still like them and the cachet around Germany and all of that. And, Mercedes-Benz and Italia and all of this stuff. When in reality, when you start to suffer or when you start to think about the amount of technology you get for your dollar, that is one of the reasons why people choose to then take a chance on you, is because it's the most affordable option and then they grow with the brand. See, the thing that made United States automakers successful from the beginning is that they created a halo project that you can aspire to, but they always made it affordable for you to be able to become an entry or become an entrant in their brand. And then people became brand loyal. And what we used to see with automakers is very similar to what we see with phones today. Usually when somebody pick a phone company, which is why they feel like the market is mature here and they just trying to keep the people that they have instead of stealing the market share over from people that already chose a phone brand or manufacturer. If you want an iPhone, it's a strong possibility that you're never going to give up an iPhone. If you want an Android, it's a strong possibility that you're never going to give up an Android. You may try it. You may look at a feature. You may consider it. If your work, your work get it from you. But usually you tend to stay brand loyal. And your kids do the same thing because your kids are dependent on you in order to get the phone that they need. And so you basically extend your own preferences over to them, and that's why they then stick with it. But they may be influenced by what happens inside of their school, or all of their friends may have an iPhone, so they may switch up. But in a general sense, they're looking for you to influence and sell over to the people, and that's why one of the reasons why banks don't even have to market homes anymore, because people are marketing it for them, and they saying, hey, you need to buy a home and get a 30-year mortgage and all of that. Banks don't have to pitch that. They don't run commercials for that. They don't have to run commercials for it anymore. And it's similar to what it used to be inside of the auto industry, is that you created a halo product And that's the car that you really wanted. I mean, back in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, if you wanted that Mustang or you wanted that Corvette or that Cadillac or that Lincoln, and instead you got you a Ford, a Chrysler, a GM, and then you remain brand loyal. Guys that usually got pickup trucks from Ford stuck with Ford. People that roll with Mopar stuck with Mopar. People that love Chevys, they love Chevys. And so people used to be brand loyal, but they aren't anymore, which then created a space for Japanese automakers to then infiltrate because people wanted to pay attention to price and they were tired of being taken advantage of based off of the fact that you was just brand loyal, so they didn't feel like they had to do anything to continue to innovate. And now Chinese cars are coming to the United States of America. Do not think for even 1 second that the government is going to ban them. Man, are you out of your mind? Don't you know that one of the top real estate purchasers inside of the United States of America is a Chinese man that's not even from here? What, you think that money don't talk? You think that we loyal? Why you think we opening up our borders? Oh, they're going to be banning inside of the United States of America. Bull crap.
That, of course, raises the question, how can they sell them so cheaply? The secret to that price tag lies in what is known as vertical integration.
Our vertical integration capability gives us the flexibility in the fast response to the market trend, as well as the better support for brand developing and customer service.
That's a fancy way of saying that they make a lot of the things that go into their vehicles themselves.
Car makers usually buy most components from suppliers such as Bosch, Continental, and Aptiv.
Which is a similar method to what the United States, and let me tell you what the difference is between United States automakers and what the Chinese automakers are saying right here, right? One of the differences is when the United States of America's automakers, Ford, Stellantis, General Motors, they had to outsource everything in order to keep costs down to remain competitive as far as what they were paying for research and development and UAW members in order to continue to manufacture inside of the United States of America. Because United States of America residents, Americans, are not brand loyal. They only care about what serves them best and what get them some box. That's just a fact. And so when Bill Clinton made it available for y'all to be able to do business outside of the United States, and then we had the North American Free Trade Agreement, what happened was we started outsourcing everything in order to keep costs down. Well, what happened once you started having problems in a pandemic and a recession and you're trying to control costs because you can't anymore and you're trying to control supplier problems, and now you don't have to manufacture as many parts anymore because we now innovated enough to where we can lower the cost of doing business and we can pass that over into the consumer. Well, now we're racing to try to bring everything in-house, but they can't. You know why? Because when they tried to open up a battery manufacturing plant, the UAW went over there and they said, we want to unionize them too, and they should be making $42 an hour. So you can't compete with what they doing because they're building everything in-house and they don't have to worry about unions. They don't have to worry about outsourcing. They can control everything within, whereas American automakers can't do the same thing, so they can't compete at the same level. They have to depend on you to support them, which we know that Americans are not brand loyal when it comes to their manufacturers being American. Y'all don't even look at Tesla as an American company. It is an American manufacturer. They able to basically sell their cars cheaper than the cheapest electric car over here. Worldwide. And remember, this is a worldwide market. They're able to keep costs down and keep their cars cheaper than anywhere else, basically selling it for half. They selling their average car at about $22,000. They selling it for half. And so while you think that you're competing against billionaires and you saying eat the rich, they competing against you and they taking up market share. And they've already overtaken Tesla.
Volkswagen, for instance, only makes 35% of the parts in its ID.3 electric car. Tesla, meanwhile, makes 68% of the parts that go into its Model 3 made in the US. BYD makes 75% of the parts that go into the Seal, its flagship model.
The most important factor is that BYD is the only automaker that produces all of its batteries in-house.
That was hugely important during the pandemic when the supply chains were just absolutely in a state of chaos for the industry, the fact that BYD was in control of its own destiny gave them a huge leg up over the rest of the industry. And especially as it pertains to batteries. This is a company that has been in the battery space since the 1990s.
BYD actually stands for Build Your Dreams. It started out in 1995 as a battery company. They make rechargeable batteries for mobile phones and other electronics products. And then the company got into the auto business in 2003.
Making its own batteries and other components helps it reduce a lot of costs. That's attracted some big-name investors.
Call it the continued BYD promotional roadshow,
and anything that Warren Buffett gets involved in, I want to know what's going on. Anything that Berkshire Hathaway is the investment vehicle by which Warren Buffett does most of his investments, and Charlie Munger rests his soul, and they've already picked successors and stuff like that. Based off of that, that then means that I need to pay attention to it, because if it's good enough for Warren Buffett, then it's absolutely good enough for me.
Investor Warren Buffett brought his buddy Bill Gates along for the ride here in Beijing.
It was fantastic. I'm amazed at the quality of that vehicle.
Warren Buffett was one of the biggest early investors in BYD through his holding company, Berkshire Hathaway. And the battery technology might also give BYD a technological edge over some rivals. It uses lithium iron phosphate, which is not only cheaper than other batteries, it's also packaged a lot more compactly. And chemistry is a core expertise of founder Wang Chongfu.
He's sort of the anti-Elon Musk. Wang is a chemist by training and an engineer, and an anecdote that one of our reporters was told was that when he was told he needed to dress up a bit for an investor meeting, he stopped to buy shirts just sort of off the street. And so he's far from one of the flashier executives in the auto industry.
比亚迪在这个电池和整车这个试验方面，我们一直做的比较领先。
One thing I will give Elon Musk that people don't give him credit for is his ability to be able to market. Elon Musk completely changed the game because he became the face of Tesla, which then eliminated their idea behind having to market their products. Similar to how Steve Jobs was the face of Apple, and they didn't even have to run ads anymore because people promoted their products based off of the fact that they loved Elon. And Elon basically even eliminated the idea of having to have a PR department or a staff that does marketing, because all he had to do was hit Twitter and talk about it, and then people absolutely went crazy over it. And so that was the marketing. But at the same time, one of the things that I even worry about with regard to Tesla is what happens if Elon Musk is no longer at the helm, or if anything ever happens to Elon Musk. Do they have a succession plan? And are they too interdependent on him and his marketing in order to continue to be successful? But ultimately, the world is changing. The world is going to continue to innovate. And either you can get with it or you're going to fall behind it. And I'm telling you that this is coming faster. You may not like it, but when we're talking about our investments and our dollars, we have to be very, very careful, understanding that the money talks and the BS walks, all right? I want to go over one more thing, but before we go over it, let me read a couple of super chats and then we're going to continue on. Jay Hunter Lee says Polestar and Rivian is already here. That's true. And Rivian is actually a Michigan company. I forgot what his name. RJ Scarange, MIT, headquartered here in Michigan, in Plymouth, Michigan. Shout out to Rivian. I love them. They are a part of my portfolio. Shout out to you. Polestar is actually an offshoot from Volvo, I believe. They're an offshoot from Volvo. AL says BYD and CATL are building up fast. They are, bro. Absolutely are. And I don't want y'all to fall behind and then y'all be saying, hey, let's invest in BYD. Well, they already got a full maturation of their stock price. Jay Hunter Lee says China owns 15 out of 19 cobalt mines in the Congo, which are using children as day laborers. Cobalt is what is needed to build electronic car batteries. Well, maybe that's why they invested so much over in the Congo. But we're not really paying attention to what's happening over in the Congo. Rio TV, appreciate the apology time, but I understand where you're coming from. Hold on, let me read that really quickly. Let me pull that up, and then we're going to go over to the last thing. We get into the money. Appreciate where you're coming from. When you're so used to giving, it feels strange when you receive in abundance, but you deserve it, bro. The consistency, mindset, and endurance is unmatched. Shout out to all of my people in the Chasers. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Shout out to Real TV. I appreciate you. Let's continue. Did y'all know that KFC, their fastest growing market was over in China? No, they are not cooking up dogs. Everybody keeps saying that no, that's not true. No, not that I'm aware of. I've never been to China. I don't plan to go to China. But as far as I know, no, they're not cooking up dogs. But KFC, even though you may not be checking for them here, you might be checking for Chick-fil-A, you might be checking for Popeyes. But KFC is over there killing it in China. We need to pay attention to that because this may be an investment opportunity for Yum Brands. Yum Brands, if you don't know what Yum Brands is, Y-U-M, exclamation mark, then you exclamation point, you need to pay attention to it. Let's get into it, y'all.
With more than 29,000 restaurants, 800,000 employees, and a new location opening every 3.5 hours, KFC is one of the world's largest fast food chains. But while much of the brand's early success came from the U.S., today, the majority of that growth is in China. In the city of Hangzhou, about an hour outside of Shanghai, KFC China recently celebrated the opening of its 10,000th store. By comparison, the U.S. has a little over 4,300 KFCs.
KFC is celebrating the opening of its 10,000th store in America. When y'all think of stuff from an investment opportunity or when you start to think of what you want to invest in, do y'all only look at how it is that they doing it in your hood? Or are you also looking at what their worldwide impact is? Whenever you start to evaluate your portfolio, I want y'all to look at things on a global scale. A global scale. I don't want you to just look at what's happening here in the United States of America. Don't just look at whether or not they're raising a minimum wage over there in California. We are in a global market. The growth, the stock price is all going to be reflected based off of where the growth opportunities are and the profitability and the margins that you're able to gain based off of being able to run these businesses. And when they're opening up 10,000 stores in China versus 4,300 here in the United States of America, that's a big deal.
The last 4 years is the highest speed of KFC development.
A lot of y'all probably don't even know what Yum Brands is. Y'all know what Yum Brands is? Let me pull up their stock price. Do y'all know what Yum Brands is? Yum Brands stock price is at $129 a share. Up about 0.7%, 0.07%, or 0.7% today, almost a whole percentage point. Yum Brands, for a lot of y'all that's not familiar, consists of KFC, Pizza Hut, and Taco Bell. KFC, Pizza Hut, and Taco Bell all makes up Yum Brands, okay? Yum Brands is one company. Now, I know a lot of people may not be familiar with it. A lot of people are not aware of it. The only thing you know of McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, all of these different places. But Yum Brands is controlled by one company. Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, and KFC are the main brands within Yum Brands, all right? Remember that.
It's history because the sheer scale of the economy provides us the opportunities to build more stores. Over 40% of our stores have been built in the last 4 years alone.
China is a very
That's almost, 4,000 stores?
important market, for Yum. It is the largest KFC market and Yum's second largest pizza market.
Remarkably successful in a market, full of restaurants. It's not like there aren't a lot of restaurants in China. They're everywhere.
Known for more than just chicken, a typical menu in China can include items like rice congee, steamed dumplings, and egg tart. Digital ordering and delivery are also a major component.
And here I can choose the nearest restaurant, and this one is a restaurant I'm right now.
Y'all thought that y'all was the only ones that can order online and then have it delivered or picked up?
300 million members. It identifies members as someone using a member coupon, QR code, or ordering through its app. A million of those as someone using China claims.
And this one is a restaurant I'm right now.
KFC China claims it has over 4,300 million members. It identifies members as someone using a member coupon, QR code, or ordering.
Did he say 430 million members? Did he say 430 million members? And it's over 1 billion people in China compared to 340 million people over here in the United States of America? Remember that. Listen, sheer scale. And they're a growing economy. And they're incentivized by the federal government in order for them to continue to be successful. We only have 340 something million, like 343 million people on the payrolls. Well, maybe that's why we get more migrants. We only have 340 million people inside the United States of America, and we not really having no children. We not really having no children. And they need you guys. They need you guys to continue to have kids. They need you to grow. They need you to continue to be successful. You know why? Because you then feed into the economy. And they have a growing economy. And they are incredibly successful. And so they're incentivized to beat you guys. And one of the ways that they're going to do it is they're going to do it by sheer numbers.
Through its app, 1 million of those customers visited at least 100 times in 2023. But the business has faced headwinds, including food safety scandals, lockdowns due to COVID.
Not the food safety scandals. No, I'm just playing.
Concerns about the health of the Chinese consumer, as well as questions about plans for future growth.
Definitely, as more U.S. brands enter, KFC might see itself facing more direct competition from the faces it's used to seeing only in the U.S.
Yum China, the operator of KFC China, generated revenue of $7.2 billion from its KFC segment in 2022. Over the coming 3 years, the company plans to return $3 billion to shareholders.
Is that not an investment opportunity? Is that not an investment opportunity? I'm just saying. They're looking to return over $3 billion over to shareholders based off of an annual profit of $7.2 billion just from the KFC brand, or annual revenue from the, not profit. Revenue and profit is two different things. Let me be very, very careful. Annual revenue from the KFC brand over in China. We need to put this on our list. BYD, Yum Brands, all of these are things that we're going to talk about in Stock Club over the weekend. We're not just going to talk about blue chip stocks. We're going to talk about the healthcare industry. We're going to talk about technology companies. We're going to talk about everything, right? And I can't wait to do this live stream so that we can go over it and we can make informed decisions because we want to know where the growth is. Okay? A lot of people don't understand the businesses, but we're going to get into it. Let's continue.
So how did KFC overtake other fast food chains in China, like McDonald's, Starbucks, and Taco Bell? And can the business continue to grow? CNBC traveled
and Taco Bell is huge there too, but they all are the same, literally of the same company.
Hangzhou, China, to find out. The first KFC franchise opened in Salt Lake City in 1952.
I don't care about the history.
But the chain didn't get its start in China until 1987. A leg up on the... Unlike its U.S. counterpart, Yum Brands, with 98% of its stores franchised, Yum China owns and operates the vast majority of its restaurants.
In Yum China, over 90% of our stores are still owned by our company. They are not franchisee. I mean, the investment payback of our store is incredible in China.
That ownership model has helped to boost the company's store count. Yum China had revenue of $9.5 billion in 2022, compared with Yum Brands that had revenue of $6.8 billion that year.
Okay, so let's break this down. How does franchises make money? They make money off the franchise fees. They make money off of the fact that you got to continue to operate within a franchise agreement, which means that you got to continue to buy their food and be supplied by them, right? And so they make money a lot of different ways. And a lot of people like to reference McDonald's because they think that they understand how McDonald's makes money. And if you say, well, what business is McDonald's in? They're going to say the old adage that they've heard online, but they have no context to understand it. Then they're going to say, well, McDonald's is in a real estate business. McDonald's popular is not the person that founded the McDonald's franchise, right? And they own some of the most valuable real estate because that's how they force their franchise. So when you franchise for McDonald's, they then buy the land that you lease from them as a part of the lease agreement in order to force you to continue to abide by their franchise agreement. So you got to do things a certain way. You got to carry your restaurant a certain way. You got to reinvest in it a certain way. You got to make sure you're supplying the right stuff, the right everything, right? You have to do things by the book. Because why? Because then they can remove your franchise agreement, and they can take your property back because they own the land by which you built the restaurant on. So when you say they're in a real estate business, that's just the leverage that they have in order to continue to force you to do things that maintains the prestige image of what McDonald's is supposed to be. And they own the real estate, but that's not how they make money. They make money off of you franchising from them, because then they can guarantee a product and they can guarantee you a piece of real estate within a certain demographic, and that it's not another store that's so close to you, so that you can continue to make money from that particular industry and so on and so forth, right? And so they in the real estate business in order to control you as a franchisee, but then controlling you as a franchisee also guarantees you to basically be a millionaire, and that's the pitch. Whereas if you go and open up a Subway, they be selling hot dogs in some of these Subways and everything. I said, what's going on in here? Anybody can go on up on a Subway. You can probably get that franchise for less than $5,000, $10,000 right now. Real talk. Anybody can go on up and open up a Subway. You can probably go and get that for less than $5,000, $10,000. But the continued fees and the continued supply chain and everything like that. But if you look at what they saying over here for Yum Brands and Yum China, they saying that we're tightly controlling the growth of what happens within the company, but we're also keeping a majority of the profits. If you look at Chick-fil-A, Chick-fil-A is a privately owned company. Chick-fil-A is growing rapidly. Absolutely is growing rapidly. But Chick-fil-A doesn't do franchising. Chick-fil-A is tightly controlling the image of what Chick-fil-A is. And even when they get somebody that they say is going to be a franchisee, they're not. You're a highly paid store manager that is a owner operator technically, but realistically they own the brand and you're just paying in order to get trained, and you can guarantee yourself to make a couple $100,000 a year, but you are very much a hands-on manager. So different brands require different things in order for you to be able to participate in ownership of the stores, but that's also a reflection of Yum Brands' stock price, because a lot of investors are more concerned with growth. And then when you get the profits to go along with it, which we need to go through and we need to look at these numbers. I'm not telling you to just jump into it and invest in Yum Brands. What I am telling you is they generate a lot of revenue. They have a lot of growth. They have infiltrated industries and cities and countries that have been hard to nail down for other brands and other franchises along the way. But we need to deep dive into the numbers, because now I want to understand what the profit is, not just what it is that they're generating as far as revenue. Okay? Profit, gross, revenue, all of these things are important as far as what the stock price is. But we also want to look into the headwinds, which we'll get into that in Stock Club this weekend. And we want to look at the business model that they're using to grow over in these other countries that's then propelling their stock price to be what it is. All right. So listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you. We went a little bit longer because I had a couple of hiccups. Had to switch over to my internet because we was having problems. I'm definitely looking to get rid of this gray soon. Make sure y'all tune into the Anton Daniels channel. Tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I'm going to read a couple more super chats, and then I'm going to get y'all out of here for the day so we can get prepared for the night. Obama fried chicken is killing it too. Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. Double R Quake said, I got this 2-ball for you. Thank you, Double R. I appreciate you. Yeah, man. I think it was a good show. Good recovery show. All right. Y'all ready to go up? Y'all ready to get this money? Salt and pepper got to go eventually. I can't take it too much longer. But I'm doing this for y'all just because this is what y'all said that y'all wanted. Make sure y'all tap into the live show tonight. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. I need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up out of here. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful, entertained, and family by ourselves. We are a family. We love each other. We hold each other accountable. We push each other. We want the best for each other. If I get on you, it's only because I love you. If you get on me, it's only because you love me. And we got to continue to run it up, because I don't want to be successful by myself. And I know you don't want to be successful by yourself. So make sure you share this with your family and friends. Tune into the Anton Daniels channel tonight. We going up and we live streaming and we don't miss. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.